Hello, welcome to Columbus, Ohio. I'm Rachel Miller. This is Color Splash. Hope you guys are doing well. So this is my Caribbean inspired day of fun. I am painting colors of the beach and ocean and exotic places. And I'm using a pearl base, which means there is both acrylic and satin enamel in my base. I use Loft soft body white and half DecoArt satin enamel white. And that's how I come up with this concoction. Yes, it is much thicker than most pearl bases that you usually see people use are. I want it this way. That is how I like it. I found that it is much more highly reactive the heavier it is. And I kind of really enjoy what I can do with a heavier base. Now, I do sometimes thin it out with a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium. Never, ever, ever with water. Water is kind of the enemy of using an oil paint, and satin enamel is an oil-based paint. What we really are hoping for are those pearl cells, which are kind of like the equivalent of when you mix oil and water and you see like all of those big oily bubbles like in your salad dressing or whatnot. That's no different than the salad dressing version of a pearl cell. I apologize. Sometimes I trip all over my own words. I get talking too quickly. I'm tired. I've been up since, I don't know, 2:45 this morning. My better half has to get up for work at 3 every morning, so we're on a really wacky schedule in this household. Really wacky schedule. Even the poor dogs are on our wacky schedule. And so come 3 in the afternoon, I've already been up for 12 hours and I'm starting to get a little sleepy. Anyhow, so I just did a tile and had an epic catastrophe. I jabbed my straw right through the center of my cell activator. Then I tried to save it by putting more cell activator on there, which only made it so that my pearl cells wouldn't really come up the way that they normally do. So I've set that tile aside and I am going to try and recreate that tile because the colors were so great. Just the way that I did it came out so horribly badly. Pardon my reach. So here is how I did my beautiful tile that turned out to have a horrible center. I started with a little bit of Arteza Payne's Gray, easily one of my most favorite paints. I love it because there's a lot of blue to it and a lot of gray to it. And I'm like rough version of 4 petals, and I want each petal to point towards a corner. Oh, this is rough. You can tell I'm getting tired. This is definitely going to be my last piece of the day. My very first tile, I had these beautiful petals shapes going, and now it just kind of looks like a hot mess. But that's okay because the blow dryer is going to muddle all this up anyway. Next color I put down, let's see, was a little bit of this neutral gray by Amsterdam. And this is a wonderful color for adding dimension to pearl cells. It gives lots of shading, lots of low lights to the pearl cells themselves. So I almost always use a neutral gray and a titanium buff in any pearl pour. So here we go. And speaking of titanium buff, that is what I will grab next by Amsterdam. Now this paint, if the neutral gray gives the low lights, the titanium buff is responsible for all the highlights. And really, there is almost never a time when I will do a pearl pour without at least the titanium buff, or I will also use Parchment by Liquitex Basics. Basically any off-white color. It just adds a lot of shading to the pearls. Let's see. I'm trying to get a little dot in the center of each petal. Come on, my paints have thickened up dramatically as the day has gone forward. Next, I'm going to grab a color that I got yesterday called King's Blue by Amsterdam. This is the very first time, or first day, I should say, that I've been able to use this King's Blue color. And I absolutely adore it. This is quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite colors. It is just a beautiful shade of blue with a little bit of gray in it. It's almost as though they took Brilliant Blue, which is the color I have in my hand now, and added a little bit of gray to it. I mean, they really are very similar, but the King's Blue is decidedly more gray. So here is the Brilliant Blue by Amsterdam. And next I am going to put down a little bit of the color called Sky Blue. Oh, I was hoping that was the FedEx guy. Oh no, really? I've got a bug in my paint. All gone. Boy, that was a mistake for that little guy to land there. I kind of feel bad that he's drowned himself in some paint. Okay, so that is the Sky Blue by Amsterdam. And next I'm going to go with Turquoise. Here, let me tilt this tile just slightly. Okay. Next I am going to use a color called Turquoise Green by Amsterdam. Such a perfect color for a Caribbean inspired piece. Just want to add a little bit more of this. Okay. Then I'm going to go with a beautiful color I've nicknamed Parakeet. It is a custom color made from a little bit of Amsterdam olive light hue and Artist Loft Soft Body White. Then I'm going to put down, let's see, I'm going to use a little bit of Cadmium Green by Pebeo. Whoops. Not a lot. This color will absolutely kind of take over if it's given the opportunity. Then I'm going to go with Cadmium Yellow by Liquitex Basics. And this is Cadmium Yellow Medium Hue. You can't have a day at the beach without having some sun, right? So here's my sunny color. I think I've said that in every video like a total dork. Every video today, that is. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Pebeo Naples yellow. Just kind of a softer counterpoint to the cadmium yellow. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of DecoArt Soft Gold. I found that this color seems to work much better on a pearl base than the 24 karat gold does. And then where is my Prussian blue? I feel like I didn't put any Prussian blue down. Gotta have a little bit of Prussian blue down. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit more of this King's blue. Maybe a teensy tiny bit of phthalo blue. A little bit more of the turquoise blue. I swear I'm almost done. This one's gonna have a lot of color. What is it, Maverick? Then I'm gonna finish up by putting down some neutral gray again. What is it, buddy? And a little bit more of my Payne's gray. And a tiny little bit of this sandy colored titanium buff. Okay, now it's time to add, well, actually I'm gonna shift this paint again. It keeps sliding to the right. I'm gonna slide it back up to the left. I'm gonna add a little bit of cell activator, which is Amsterdam lamp black mixed with Australian Floetrol. Here, I'm gonna stir this. There we go. I'm gonna add a little pool of it to the center. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my blow dryer, and on the low cool setting, I am gonna start to blow this out. I'm gonna blow straight down and kind of widen out my center. All right. Okay, now this time I will not jab my straw into my tile, but I am going to blow some of this excess activator off. And actually, I don't have a lot of excess. Excellent. So I'm going to grab my toothpick and a clean paper towel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going round and round in a circle and sticking my toothpick down through the activator and gently, very gently stabbing, or not stabbing, scratching at my tile. Boy, it's been a long day when I'm talking about stabbing my artwork. That's kind of ridiculous. And what you'll notice is that you'll almost immediately see a little white dot rise to the surface, and that is quite literally the paint underneath the cell activator rising up through the column and breaking through and turning into a pearl cell. It's a really easy way to create pearl cells exactly where you want them to live. It's an excellent kind of technique I stumbled on totally by accident. I was having another long day of painting and I gouged into my cell activator with a palette knife. And I was kind of cursing under my breath when I noticed all of a sudden all these pearl cells started floating to the surface. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And then I realized I had broken the surface tension, and that's what was creating the movement. Hang on. Removing a little bit more of the excess activator. Ooh, I am getting some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff happening, guys. So I know this process is totally time consuming, but it is absolutely worth the effort of going round and round in a circle. And with every new row, you kind of squeeze out that black activator with more and more pearl cells. Oh my gosh, these colors are so gorgeous. I am a little bit frustrated because I got a new container of some Aussie Floetrol, and I didn't realize just how tainted my last batch had become. I shouldn't say tainted. It was uneven. I guess I hadn't shaken it as well one of the times before I used it. So it had separated quite a bit inside the container. And when I poured some out, I kind of altered the overall recipe of what was left inside the container, leaving a much thinner version of Aussie Floetrol. And although that was really frustrating to me at first, I realized I was actually getting better results with my thinned down Aussie Floetrol. And now that I've got a new container of Aussie Floetrol, I'm forced with the decision, do I intentionally kind of destroy my Floetrol again, and will I be able to destroy it in exactly the same way I did last time? And the answer is probably not, and that stuff is so daggone expensive. So it's just a lot thicker than what I've been used to using, and the ratios that I'm having to use are different now. So I'm still getting used to it. But oh my gosh, you guys are gonna die when you see what is going on this tile. These pearl cells are outrageously gorgeous. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. That is definitely something my dad taught me, and oh my gosh, am I glad I listened to him today. I had a really bummer of a tile a few minutes ago, and I was gonna pack it all up, but I'm sure glad I didn't, because what I'm looking at here is so beautiful. It may just be one of my most favorite pieces of all time. Come on. Work with me, cells, work with me. They're coming, they're just coming so slowly, it's hard to tell. if they're gonna pop through or not initially. I need to just give it a chance because they are coming just very slowly, very slowly. It's this thicker cell activator. I'm gonna have to figure out how to thin this down just a little bit. Some of these just burst through. I wonder what would happen if I turn this toothpick around. Oh, okay. So by turning the toothpick upside down, I'm giving more surface area for the cell activator to cling to, and therefore I'm removing more of it with my toothpick as I pull it out, and also creating a bigger opening for the paint to rise through. I almost wonder what would happen if I grabbed one of my shish kebab skewers, which is substantially bigger than a toothpick. I'd still be able to use the pointed end, but it would use much more surface area. I think there's a sound hypothesis there. If for any reason my phone happens to shut down, I'm still going to post this video. My memory is almost completely taken up. So I'm trying to hurry along so you guys can see a close-up of what's going on before my phone shuts down and says there's no more space. Oh, I'm so glad I flipped this toothpick upside down. And you guys, I think FedEx might be headed to my front door. No, darn it, that's a school bus. Dang it. Okay, I have been waiting all day for this delivery. It's the deliveries that you're waiting on the most that seem to take the longest to arrive and come the latest in the darn day. Isn't that always the case? If it were something I didn't really care about, it'd have been here at 6 in the morning. Trying to get as close to the cells without damaging the cells. It's really hard to do. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so gorgeous. I'm so sorry. I know this is tedious. I could sit and do this and do this and do this for the next 10 minutes and still probably not get done. And I don't know how to edit yet, so I can't speed something up for you guys. So you guys are sitting here listening to me yak away in real time while I scrape at this. I hope you guys are able to just fast forward through this boring part to the end where you'll get to see the tile and its all its glory. Okay. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. This is one gorgeous, gorgeous tile. I am so excited to take you guys in to see what's going on. Now, some of these cells are still very small and they're going to continue to grow, but I was so scared my phone was going to shut off. I figured I better stop what I'm doing and take you in for a closer look now. Look at these colors. Oh my gosh. These colors are spectacular. The lacing. Look at these pearl cells, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at these. I get giddy every time I get done with a piece. And look at the green halos on some of these pearl cells. Now, I don't know if you can, where's my finger? If you can see some of the shading on this pearl cell, but this is the titanium buff. See all the shading? This is from the grays and the buffs that I put down. And that's what gives them such a 3D effect. Oh my goodness, look at the coloration of these cells. They're bananas. See how that's white in the center and then it just gradiates out? That's all because of the neutral colors I put down. That's why it's so important to use grays and sand colors in your pearl cell mix or lineup of colors. Oh my gosh. Look at this spectacular tile. I mean, okay, I'm sorry guys who are in my family who are going to ask me for this tile. This one I'm keeping. I'm in love with this piece. You guys are going to have to get a different one for the holidays this year. Oh my word. I am just absolutely enthralled with the colors in this tile. Just enthralled. And these small pearl cells that you're seeing here are going to continue to form and grow in towards the center the longer it sits here. I mean, this will look a lot different in 10 minutes. Those cells are going to continue to grow. I'm so excited about this piece. Well, thank you so much for spending this long half hour with me. I hope I didn't bore you guys absolutely to death. You guys have been a joy to paint with. Please remember to click like and subscribe. Your support means so much to me. I've been so humbled by the amount of views you guys have been giving me on my videos. It means so much to me. I lack so much confidence as an artist, and it just feels good to know that you guys are liking the videos, wanting to see more of them. I certainly am not going to stop painting anytime soon. So I'm going to continue to film my afternoons covered in paint here in Columbus, Ohio for you guys. Anyway, I am Rachel Miller. This has been Color Splash. Thank you so much for coming. Happy painting, y'all. Bye.